good sign when the medical professionals treating you for an injury talk about getting out the 22. This week on a very special Big Dave and Company podcast, we recount the most significant event to ever happen to anyone ever in the history of the world. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Big Dave and Company podcast coming to you almost live from the Gigabyte System Studios here on the 12th floor of the worldwide headquarters. I am, of course, Big Dave, and with me the usual company, the lovely Emily, Steak Knife, the guy from the FCC, who has recovered sufficiently after he had trouble with his bleeper from after last week's show.
Sprained it.
Herbie the Wonder Dog sitting here curled up next to me, not under the table today, kind of laying out in the sunshine. The unpaid interns, and of course Mike Alicious, our technical producer and the leading center forward for the Togo soccer team this year.
Yeah, we're not doing real good.
Were you involved in that stuff that happened with the hijacking in the African Cup? Like, were you on the bus that day?
I have no knowledge of what you're speaking of. My lawyer said that I can't
Understand. Well, I'm glad you're able to do those athletic pursuits. So, anyway,
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it.
It's fine. Brought to you today, as always, by Morningwood Estates. We're brought to you without interruption today. Today's podcast is fully funded 100% by the good people at Morningwood Estate.
That's very generous.
They have a very good special coming on right now. As you know, April showers bring May flowers. But since we didn't have any April showers in the Morningwood Estate area this year,
There are no flowers.
Yeah, it's the May desert promotion. You get a
Free take-home cactus.
No, you can get rooms overlooking what used to be the beach and is now the giant sandbox because the water's gone.
Okay, so it's like a dry lake bed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Get rooms overlooking the former lagoon.
What happened
for
at
half price?
How's Pickerel Creek? I mean,
I'm
with the
assuming-
water bottling and
Well, I mean,
is it all dried up or?
I kind of think it dries up when they turn the plant on anyway.
Oh,
Sucks a lot of that water
could
in
be.
there. But yeah, half price rooms overlooking the lagoon, and I say that with air quotes.
They can't. This is radio. They can't see.
That's
the
why I
air
had to tell
quotes.
them that the air quotes were
quote
on.
unquote lagoon.
So go online, get all that information. But brought to you without interruption today.
So we have a bit of an abbreviated podcast this week.
We're going to have a
Dave.
shorty today. Yeah.
There's no news.
No news.
Because there was kind of a happenings.
We talked about that.
The
It was
most important thing that's ever happened to anyone.
ever in the history of the world.
Okay.
This is
Even
more
more than like Jesus Christ.
This is more important than
More than like
the discovery of fire, the invention of the wheel,
or them building the pyramids. More than that.
all combined.
Wow.
Times
So,
2.
Are you going to tell our listeners what it is?
Yeah. I had to go into the hospital.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did your VD kick in again?
No, that usually only comes around at awkward times, like spring break. It usually gets riled up.
But really, on a serious note, what happened?
I had an infection in my leg region.
Okay.
Actually, what happened? I had a cut that got infected,
That happens.
and
That happens. It's common.
yeah, and they gave me.
You didn't put any Neosporin on it. That's why.
I did not, and I probably should have. But I didn't have any.
Okay.
And Walgreens is far. And it's only open 24 hours.
Right.
And
So
I
you
can't
don't have time.
conform my schedule to that sort of.
Right. You have a 26-hour-a-day schedule.
Yeah.
So it's tough
so
to
I can't
fit that in.
I can't do that. So
So it got infected,
So it got infected with
which by itself is not a huge deal.
yeah, two
But then-
kinds of strep bacteria and a staph bacteria that were in there.
That's bad.
Yeah, they told me it was normal stuff that you'd find on your skin.
Okay.
But that once it gets under your skin is bad.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it got infected, and I went in and started getting some treatment. They put me on an antibiotic.
Which is typical, standard operating
Mm-hmm.
procedure.
But they elected to put me on an antibiotic that worked really good for one of the types of bacteria and sort of okay for the other.
Okay.
So it didn't help me at all. So I went, and then they put me on. They took me off that, and after they got the culture back, and they put me on another one, and took me off the first one.
Okay.
And the other one worked really good for the other thing, but not the first one. So it wasn't helping, and plus it turned out I was allergic to it.
Oh, so that's why you have like.
I have hives right now.
That's why you're itching.
Yeah, I'm kind of itchy. I have hives from basically my jaw down to my toes.
Wow.
It's covered with hives.
And we all know what's in between. There's a lot of real estate in between
Right, and
there.
they're all covered with hives.
And it's itchy.
Like, if you ever seen the movie Major League where Corbin Burnson takes his shirt off and he's got all the bruises from taking all
Sure.
the ground balls
Yep.
to his chest and everything? I look like that, except it's all hives.
And they're itchy.
And so it looks like I got... Yeah, but they don't itch, like, continuously all over. It's like right now, like my left thigh really itches, but like later on today it might be my right arm. It's like it's selective.
What about your balls? I mean, you itch those anyway.
Yeah,
those
no,
are
those have been
constantly
pretty good.
itchy.
Yeah, those have been pretty good. So I got the hives from the one thing, and then they tried to put me on a third antibiotic, and eventually they decided that none of them were really working right.
Okay,
Wasn't taking care of me like I was supposed to.
that happens.
Had a little bit of a low grade fever,
Ooh, now you're starting to get a little more serious.
which is bad.
That's
That's bad juju.
Right.
When they're
When
trying
an
to find
infection
infections in your
when an
body.
infection in your leg gives you a fever, that's a bad sign.
Right. So they they did what any good doctor would do today. First he asked me if I had good insurance.
Which luckily here at the
Big
Dave
David Company podcast, I have the top
Right.
tier insurance.
Right. But nobody else who works here has any insurance.
No,
Just so you
just
can
me.
have the best.
I have the best. My insurance is so good. You know how usually people have a copay.
Because when you said you had to go to the hospital, I'm like, man, I hope that never happens to me because I don't get insurance through here.
but you
then
still
you're-
pay
but-
on your paycheck.
Right,
though.
but then you're like,
I get mine.
I have really, really good insurance.
My insurance actually pays me to go in. So if most people they go into the doctor and you might have like a $15 copay or whatever.
Sure.
I go in there and I present my insurance card and
they're
they
like,
hand me
"Oh."
a 20.
And we're like, we're sorry for the inconvenience. Here's the 20.
Here's the 20. Yeah.
Wow.
They actually give me 40 if I have a house call.
Wow.
It's
what if you
amazing.
go to the ER, like emergency?
Yeah.
It's like $100?
Yeah, I get a check in the mail.
Wow.
They have to issue it from the treasury. So I went in,
So you go to the hospital.
go to the hospital. I had I have to say, I'm not going to name names as to what hospital I was at.
It's a major medical facility.
The most major medical facility
Yes.
you could ever imagine.
Major.
It's like every New York hospital plus UCLA Medical Center plus Johns Hopkins put together and divided by 3.
Wow.
So I went in, and I have to give a lot of kudos because I was
Now,
nervous.
is this... I just have to ask you
I was
this.
scared. Charles Barkley said I was
But-
scared.
But we need,
I was scared like there was a bar there.
we need total disclosure here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're a major benefactor to a certain hospital. Does this happen to be the hospital that you're a major benefactor
no,
to?
no.
Because
there-
why didn't you go to that one? You
There
think
is
you
no
got
Big
extra-
Dave and Company wing
Oh.
in this hospital. Well, that hospital's outside my HMO,
Oh.
so I can't go to it.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know.
That makes sense.
My insurance plan, while being fantastic, only allows me to go to a very select
Right.
number of
And
hospitals.
not the one that you give large portions of your
No.
media empire to.
I couldn't. I had to be selective to get such a good insurance. So I had like a hospital in Casper, Wyoming, and like 3 in southern Alabama I can choose from.
So it's
and then
weird
this other one I went
that
to.
that this hospital that you give so much money to, and they have the Big Dave and Company STD wing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Venereal Research Institute is
Right.
what they call it. Venereal Disease Research Institute.
but you didn't go there.
No.
Okay,
No.
that makes sense.
Couldn't. So I would have had to pay exorbitant sums of money. They would have had a Big David Company leg wound injury research
And
facility
it
there.
may have turned into the Memorial
Yes.
Big Dave and
Yes.
Company.
So,
wing, so.
So I went to this hospital, and I have to give a lot of credit to their staff because I was nervous when I went in, as anyone would be.
Sure. Oh yeah, it's a
Um,
big deal going to the hospital.
It's the first time I'd ever actually been in there
like overnight.
overnight in there.
Sure.
Yeah, so I and it was good. It wasn't like they rushed me there in
I
an
think
ambulance.
they call that inpatient.
Inpatient. It was my first time as an inpatient. It wasn't like George Clooney and Juliana Margulies were rushing me in there on a stretcher. I
Which would
walked
have been
in.
cool because she's hot.
Right. It would have been weird. It would have been like 1998 because that's when they were on ER
Right.
together. No, I walked in with like my bag. Like they gave me time to go home and pack, and I had like 4 days worth of my street clothes to wear, which is odd because I wear a tuxedo most of the time.
Right, I know.
As I go around. So I actually, because it was a leg thing, I
So
wore
did
my
you just-
shorts.
I was gonna say, but you still had the tuxedo top, like the jacket.
I actually
and the
wore
bow tie.
my like that outfit that British people used to wear when they'd be working in like Africa in the 1800s,
No,
the safari suit.
I wasn't around in the 1800s.
Oh, have you ever seen pictures? Like, have you
Like
ever
the
watched
tan
Ace Ventura?
the tan shirts. With
Yeah,
Okay.
I wore my safari suit,
Okay.
my British safari suit, because
that's
it has
fitting.
shorts.
That's
And
proper,
short sleeves,
proper attire for being
So-
checked into the hospital.
So I went into the hospital, and they were really nice. They actually put a lot of my fears at ease, and they took, they were really nice and patient with me and answering all my questions, and they told me everything they were doing. The nurse kind of jinxed herself. I felt bad for her. Mostly I felt bad for me because they went to put an IV in, and she said, "Oh, I've been doing really good with IVs," and then they proceeded to poke me 7 times before they found a vein that worked.
That's painful. That poor woman.
It took.
How many did she do it all
No,
7 times? Or?
she did the first couple, and then I had and one EMT.
So then she brings in another nurse.
She brought in EMT.
Okay.
Because the EMTs in that community are based out of the hospital.
Sure.
And
EMTs, they have
they
to
do
do
IV.
it in the back of an ambulance
right.
while moving.
So they're really generally very good at it. And the first EMT came on, and he tried a couple places, and he says, "Well, I can't get it," and he left because it was the end of his shift.
He's done.
Then I had to wait through EMT shift change, and the next one came in, and he prodded me 3 times, and then he finally put it in the back.
So where's the 22 come in that you mentioned in the intro?
They have the sizes of their IV lines or their needles or whatever they use for that.
Oh, so it's like a 22 gauge.
Are like 20, 22, 24. Okay. And all of a sudden the guy goes, "Well, give me a 22." And I was like, "Hey, now, I know that I might have bad veins, but you don't need to shoot me." And then I was like, although I suppose if you shot a hole in me, it would be easy for you to find a vein. So they put it, and it was one of the more tender places you could have it.
So they got it.
But they got it in there.
Was it in your wiener?
It was in the underside of my left wrist.
Ooh.
Which is bad, because I'm left-handed. I don't know
Sure.
if you know that. I eat with my left hand, and I write with my left hand.
And you use the bathroom.
I pee with my left hand,
Right.
and I wipe with my left hand.
That's tough.
And I don't know, boys, if you've ever tried to pee with your other hand.
It's tough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I had to pee into like a jar.
Why?
I
know you're famous, and they probably are trying to collect.
They're
all
selling it on
fluids.
eBay right now.
On eBay, right?
Yeah. Actually, what they do is they put a little drop of that Big Dave special urine into every bottle of Pickerel Creek natural spring water. Gets a little bit of. If you buy Pickerel Creek Plus, that's what the plus is.
So it's like Pepsi Plus.
Yes, it comes with extra
Big Dave.
A little bit of Big Dave, and then you have to pay $12 more.
That's gross because I've had that stuff before, and I never knew what the plus was. I'm never going to drink that again.
Yeah, they have to keep tabs on. They're putting fluid into you, so they keep tabs on everything you get,
okay,
and then they keep tabs on what comes out. So they're making sure that the same amount, roughly,
Sure.
or appropriate amount, is coming out for what they put in, which is really nice because it means I couldn't even get my own water. So every time I wanted like a glass of water, you'd have to ring the thing, and the nurse would have to get because they have to mark down how much they gave you.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, and I'm used to having people wait on me anyway, but it's usually disgruntled, unpaid interns.
Right, but now it's hot nurses,
and they're hot and they're nice. So, so they took good care of me, and they were really patient. I had a lot of questions. And I stayed in there, and they hooked me up to some heavy-duty antibiotics.
Good.
On a IV thing, and pumped me full of those for a few days. And
so now you're kind of on the mend.
Now I'm on the mend. It actually got much, much better over the course of the 2 days, my leg area.
Good.
My leg region.
Good, because legs are important.
Yeah. It made me feel bad that they amputated it so early.
Yeah.
Because now they can't reattach it. Now there's a perfectly healthy leg laying around that I carry around with me.
Well, I'm sure they can give that to somebody else.
No, but
luckily it doesn't affect your radio voice.
Yeah. The problem is, though, I mean, they discharged me. They told me I was going to be in for 4 days, and they discharged me after 1 full day and 2 nights because I went in the evening the first day, and then I had the night, and then the first day.
So 1 day, 2 nights. It sounds like a
morning with a stay package. Yeah.
Yeah, like vacation.
So wake up with Morningwood. I forgot to say that. So they discharged me a little early, and what they did was they put what's called a PICC line in me.
Okay.
And what that is, I don't know if you've ever seen a regular IV. For the folks who don't know, a regular IV is about a half-inch long, a little tube with like a connector on the end, and they just stick it into your vein, and then they can hook shit up to the connector and pump you full of fluids. Well, a PICC line is, instead of being like a half-inch long, is like 35 centimeters long.
Wow.
And it runs usually in your arm somewhere, your lower, your upper arm, and it goes through your veins, and they run it through your veins like a happy little tunnel, and it ends right near your heart. And it allows them to do IVs on an outpatient basis. So
you're still on the IV.
I'll still be on the IV.
Plus now you can put your heroin right into that.
Right into there, yeah. I don't
That's
have to.
handy. That is handy.
Yeah. No more of that tourniquet and needle stuff.
Messy.
So then they can draw the blood right out of it when they need to draw.
So how
blood.
long do you have to continue to do the IV antibiotic
10
stuff?
days at least I'll be on it, but I can kind of go about my normal life, which is nice.
Because you're busy.
I'm a busy man. I'm a media mogul. I don't have time to sit around.
Right.
I mean, I have to.
So did they actually hang bags like right in your private jet so you can do IVs like while you're flying to the metal foundry or whatever?
Yeah, I have to go to the metal foundry. I'm firing 5,000 workers from the metal foundry on Friday.
That's like 6% of your staff over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Well,
Times are tough.
Well, the county.
So basically, you want more work from less people.
No, I mean I'll hire 5,000 different people.
Oh.
These are the ones.
That doesn't make any sense.
This is North Korea. These are the ones that are about to die. I can't have them dying on my payroll. Do you know how much paperwork there is if you have an employee die, even in North Korea?
So you just got to turn them over.
And
it's like the dairy section at a grocery store.
Yeah,
you got to get rid of the old stuff.
I mean,
bring in the new stuff.
My Korean is not good enough to be able to fill out the complicated death paperwork.
Right. The only thing you know is happy ending in Korean.
Right, and fired.
Right.
So.
Are you taking Donald Trump with you? Because he's pretty good at firing people.
I should.
You should.
Sometimes I do.
You have his like home phone number, don't you? I mean,
the Donald and I, we hang out.
Sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But so I spent a couple days in the hospital, and now we're here.
And you're good.
And I'm good. I'm going to be just fine.
Good.
The antibiotics are doing a great job of taking care of me. The staff is good. I get to see a lot of the same staff when I go in from antibiotics. I have to go right to the hospital.
Good.
They prop me up in a chair, turn the TV on.
Let you drip away.
Let me drip away. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night.
Well, that's fantastic. I was a little worried that we wouldn't get a podcast out this week. But luckily
we did. Turned out okay. Otherwise, we would have
had. God knows I can't do this on my own.
We would have had a mass exodus in our listenership.
I know there'd have been, and then just that one blank.
Sure.
That's not good.
So I guess what I should say is, if on the odd coincidence one of the 8 people who listens to us is one of the people who is treating me.
Could happen.
I would like to say thank you for your wonderful care. I think I probably will actually write a nice letter. Say thank you very much.
Yeah, that'd be good. People like letters.
Say thank you. You guys.
Maybe we get them as a sponsor on the Big Dave and Company podcast.
That'd be great.
That'd be
Although I don't know if my beneficiary wing hospital would like that so much.
Well, maybe you change.
Maybe I'll get them as my sponsor.
Maybe you change.
We should talk about Morningwood Estates, who's sponsoring this in whole today.
Interruption free.
Yep.
Morningwood Estates.
So thank you very much.
Go online.
For their wonderful package. Half off rooms overlooking the lagoon that is not a lagoon anymore.
Right.
So that's pretty much all for this week. That was my experience. It was slightly traumatic, but I'm super rich media mogul, so that cures everything.
That's true. Money fixes everything.
Mm-hmm. You pull out enough wad of enough cash, and the caviar will appear on the hospital food menu. You'd be amazed at what they can do.
Well, Dave, I think I speak for all the listeners that we're happy that you're on the mend.
Well, thank you much. I'm glad to be here, and we're going to be just fine. And they actually released me into the care of Dr. J, so I can tell you that I'll be feeling real good by the time I see him tonight.
No pain.
Yeah. But all right, I guess that's all for this week. It was a shorty. Tune in next week when we're going to have
the full
full 100% Big Dave and Company podcast. We look forward to that.
If you're not dead.
If I'm not dead.
Right.
And if I am dead, it'll be the Somebody Else and Company podcast.
Right. It'll be the Michaelicious by himself podcast.
Yeah, you'll know if it's the Michaelicious and Company podcast next week. You'll know something has happened. Plus, I'm sure there will be some sort of parade or a memorial service in your town.
I'm sure.
So, anyway, for all the usual company, I'm not going to name them again because I just did it. And Michaelicious. Is there anything else we want to say before we're done?
No, sir.
All right. So, on behalf of all the company, Michaelicious, I am Big Dave saying it's good to be back, and we'll see you all next week. Next week on the Big Dave and Company podcast, now that I'm fully recovered, we're going to have a fantastic podcast. There's going to be Dancing Bears and Joey from Full House and 3 girls who look exactly alike but aren't twins.